Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, emotional, and mental health paradigm. Well, actually, no. That's my main channel. What we do around here is we bring about conversations about pro wrestling, old and new, and we're in the midst of the All-Star Wrestling review series. This is the July 7th edition, 1979. I'm halfway through 1980, wishing that 82 through 85 was more complete. Maybe they will be on the Peacock Network at some point. They are not yet, and so we deal with what we got, and this is what we got. So July 7th, 1979 is the episode for the moment. We've got close to actually over 1,700 episodes now on a variety of topics, and we will continue to foray to become the most pronounced run here. This is as mentioned, July 7th, Tito Santana and Mark Pole 217 with a power slam and a leg drop. Santana's been pushed pretty heavily here. Santana will continue, I'm assuming, to be pushed into perpetuity because, I mean, he's there from, 84 to 93 plus this run in 79 and 80. So, pretty big deal. Santana, in his early 20s, goes up and over the hip for his opponent, drop kick under the chin, and eventually gets that power slam. They're really trying to get him over as a main babyface, which does happen by the midpoint in 1980, but they're really pushing him heavy and hard here. Power slam and leg drop gives him the victory there. Then we move to the next in the series of the run, which happens to be the North American champion Pat Patterson, who has just within the last few weeks defeated Ted DiBiase, obviously, and he's with the Grand Wizard. Bill Burgess, 455, with the bombs away after the bout. Bruno interviews Patterson and Wizard. The idea behind the interview, once again, is Patterson trying to show himself to be completely superior to any and everyone, and also brag about the new North American title win. Patterson with attempts at a bunch of headlocks. His adversary does put a headlock on him, but doesn't stay in control of things for very long at all. And Patterson manages to get the attempted choke out, and then we see Patterson kind of using the ropes as a choke point and trying to get the victory. Chief Jay Strongbow back again, and this is his interview. He kind of talks about wanting to get even with Greg Valentine for putting him on the shelf. Really emotional about the idea that he was taken out of being able to provide. Mentioned many times having to be on his back for an extended period of time, unable to get out of bed, wasted time, and he will do anything and everything to get even with Valentine. A promo worth going out of your way to see if you just want to kind of capture legitimate emotion in a non-screaming, non-overly over-the-top intense kind of way is what is had here. Bulldog Brower with Captain Lou Albano fights Steve Travis to a 10-minute draw. Both men are continue brawling after, and eventually Brower is chased from ringside by Travis. I understand the logic of trying to get more out of Steve Travis than is average, but a 10-minute bout with Brower, I'm not necessarily sure, is the best thing for business. Tie-ups on both ends, and Brower hits headbutts, punches, kicks, super basic stuff, and a top wrist lock along the way, and ultimately punches and basic stuff along the way here as well. Nothing really to write home about the matches back and forth. The crowd has successfully navigated dealing with Steve Travis, and it's kind of there along the way as well. But Travis tries to do the rowboat thing, bear hug for several minutes. They go to the outside. Brower takes over on him. Obviously, the brawling heel, a little less. I don't know that psychotic is the right word, but a little less around the craziness than he was in the earlier stages. Then we go to the nature of the next contest here, which in this case happens to be the Colombian Jaguar defeating Jose Estrada in 7:52. Not exactly sure what that is about. Jaguar is at least treated like a pretty major star at the time, at least in commentary by McMahon, like it's going to be around for a while, but it doesn't really end up being. Jaguar takes a good bit of punishment, punches, kicks, basic stuff, the side headlock into the jabs into the throat and other basic stuff, and again, kind of gets the knee across the shoulder and or across the throat, and then Jaguar manages to hit a shot, and then ultimately there we go. Jaguar does some basic flips, hip tosses, and the like. Nothing necessarily to write home about, but gets what he can out of the process. And so, Irish whip, and the heel actually took more of the match than expected, including a backdrop on the Colombian here. And but finally he does get the win with the sunset flip, among other things. We go to Chief Jay Strongbow's return match, which he'd been on the shelf since for a couple of months, since March, and so he's back here in July. The Mr. X is the opponent, not exactly your worst opponent ever. Using nerve holds and other basic maneuvers to try and get things under his control. Strongbow slides through the legs, arm drag, and eventually gets a sleeper and actually has to do the old wake 'em up spot that slap to the back of the neck that Beefcake has to do. But there are wonders about the lethal nature of the sleeper, maybe trying to get submission versus submission in the minds of the people. But that's where we're going, and until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.